think he's going to play a lot longer. They kind of game plan this game. Put in a game plan. He's going to have the first 15 plays scripted. And they're going to come out and go through and then I think it would be more organized than they've been. It's just kind of been helter-skelter.
You're looking for a little more today.
Yeah, exactly. From everybody.
Have you seen the script?
Maybe. You and I had a chance to talk to Jay. We did the first coaches show of the year that we filmed the other day, and Jay said they weren't going to game plan much more for this game. Not that they're going to watch the Bengals and really try to calculate what would be best, what wouldn't be best, but they'll just run their base offense and base defense.
John, short of a game plan, you know that the Redskins want to see certain people in certain positions here in this game because the ones are going against the ones longer than they've had all preseason.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I mean, there's a couple of things, and I contend that it's not that important, but obviously they want to see the running game pick up. And I was just telling Kevin in the part of the pregame show that I was doing with him that last week when they ran the ball, I guess I should say when Rob Kelly ran the ball, what was it, 9 times for 10 yards, or I guess the offense had 10 carries for 11 yards. I mean, it was you can't hardly do that. I mean, that's almost impossible to do when you think about it. I mean, somebody's going to stumble and fall and get a couple free. I mean, maybe you get 20 yards, but 10. So, yeah, they're going to want to do that. I got something I want to ask everybody here, and it includes Doc, and to weigh in on this, because it occurred to me on the way over. I think, Jordan Reed seems to be, and that's what I'm wondering, if with him on the field today, if he's going to play, and I hope and I think he should play, if he's really the catalyst of this offense, that all of a sudden that he is the blanket, he's Linus's blanket for Kirk Cousins, it makes him feel more comfortable, it settles people down. I'm wondering if everything gets better, and if that's the case, it's kind of like, this is kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because the truth of the matter is Jordan Reed is not on your team every week, and so you kind of, it's like be careful what you ask for, and at the same time he can do so many things. And I'm just wondering if anybody else sees it that way.
See Doc's opinion on that first, Richard.
It has some merit to it, John. I understand what you're saying. The problem is he's not playing quarterback. And to me, it doesn't matter who's on the field. The quarterback has got to be a little bit more opportunistic, take some chances, and force people to produce. Granted, he's a great player. If he's there, you're going to be better. It'd be like if we had to play without him. We would have still won, but we wouldn't have won as dynamic.
No, you wouldn't.
We wouldn't have been as good.
No, you wouldn't have won, Doc.
Well, we'd have had to find a way.
Don't kid yourself.
Well, we'd have to find a way. I can't imagine
Of course you would have won.
Chris, what are your thoughts on that? You know Jordan Reed pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, all quarterbacks, and I think Sonny would probably agree with this, look for the guy that they completely trust, especially early in the season. And Kirk's going to build a trust with Terrell Pryor, and he's hopefully going to build a trust with Doxson and whoever else is in there. Obviously, there's been something with Crowder, and you've seen that a little bit of that connection. But yeah, right now, he needs a guy that he completely believes in and completely trusts to win at any time. A guy that he doesn't have to watch to win.
He's your bailout guy. He's your bailout guy. When you got 3rd and 7 and you need a bailout guy, you're looking for him. And that's the reason I think this offense will see a big boost tonight.
And, John, you got to factor in with Jordan Reed not having played, he's got a couple of new receivers who he hasn't played with either. So add that all together.
That's the key. I mean, I think you could make the argument, maybe not. I mean, because, Jackson was such a dynamic player, is such a dynamic player. But when you look at Dotson and you look at Pryor, you're kind of going, they lost 2 excellent receivers. There's no question about it. But the 2 guys they got to take their place, they look like they have some stuff going on. And in some ways, you could make the argument they may be better off where they are with these guys. And I think, and that's what I'm saying about Jordan Reed, because of the comfort factor he gives to Kirk Cousins, just having him on the field may make Cousins a little bit more comfortable, let him relax a little more, hold the ball a little longer, and get the ball down a couple of these big wideouts that we haven't seen happen yet. And to me, that's really the only thing with the offense that you might want to be nervous about, is when will this all start to come together for the offense in the passing game? Because truly, this is a passing team, and I just don't think that you can get away from that. That's what they want to do.
I think that big difference in these receivers and the ones that you had would be getting off the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Neither one of them. Dotson hasn't.
Yes.
He hasn't experienced that. Pryor hasn't a lot. He did one season with the Browns, but whether they can get off the line like the other two did.
They did. No doubt
get
about
off
it.
the line.
Hey, them other two were alphas. That's my point. He had 3 great weapons. Those guys couldn't get the ball enough. To me, it still goes back to the quarterback.
Bengals on the field warming up. Redskins trickling out. The Skins wearing the burgundy jerseys, gold pants. We're going to hear from head coach Jay Gruden and more of our pregame show in a moment. You're listening to Washington Redskins football. We're going to run some of these sound bites here, and we'll react to them.
And you're starting with Gruden?
Yeah, I think probably we'll end up getting 4 Grudens on here in this segment. I don't think we're going to get them all, but we'll start with the first one.
Okay.
About how does he view this?
I don't know.
I'm thinking there's something with the league.
Countdown to kickoff continues here on Redskins Radio. Kickoff at 4:25 this afternoon here at FedEx Field. The 9th preseason meeting between the Redskins and Bengals, who, of course, played last year, October 30th of 2016 at Wembley Stadium, that memorable 27-27 tie. Time to hear from the head coach of the Redskins, Jay Gruden. Cut one. How does he view this game? Is it really the last dress rehearsal, Coach?
Yeah, pretty much. We have another game that's going to be important for some of our other players, whether or not they make the team or not, some of our practice squad players, so it's going to be important also. But for the starters, this is the final opportunity they have to get themselves ready for Philadelphia.
Now I want John to comment after the next cut where the coach was asked on the Coaches Show. You can see it Saturday nights on NBC4. Yours truly, Chris Cooley, the coach, 7 o'clock every Saturday for the next 19 weeks. What do you have to do to get the running game going, Coach?
It is, or 10 carries for 9 yards, and really, those are tough 9 yards at that, so we got to give them some more. You know, you keep 1, 2, 3 people on the whole time, and we got to get them targeted right, especially a little bit failed last week, got his knees checked, but for the most part, we just got to get people blocked up and find a running back.
John, you were never a person that lacked confidence, and I don't think Rob Kelly lacks confidence, but he's young, and I would think having something good happen for the running game today is almost essential for him.
Yes, I mean, you know, and it starts with the guys up front, and I think that, you know, Chris is the guy that looks at all the game film and has looked and saw, seen what the offensive line has done, or I should say not done. But when you run the ball 10 times, you make 10 yards or 11 yards, whatever it was, something's going wrong up front. There's just no other way around it, and I think that that's something that Bill Callahan, I'm sure, is very frustrated by. But that's something they have to improve, and somehow, and I think it gets down to people missing assignments and or not getting to where they need to be when they need to be there. And you got to believe, particularly to a team like the Bengals, who, you know, you look at, I don't know what you looked at the film or if Chris has looked at any of it this week on the Bengals, but then they give up over 200 yards rushing to the Chiefs. Now that could be last week in the preseason, and that could be a little deceptive. You know, they got a long run in there or something. You know, you never know how that works out. But at the same time, you would think, because the real critical thing here for this offense when it comes to running the football, I think, is you got to get much, much better in short yardage. You got to be able to get that fourth down or that third down, and you got to be able to get it in the end zone when you're on the 3, the 2, and the 1 yard line, and you don't necessarily want to have to throw it. So if you're running game, that's what you really want. You know, let's just see if that part of the offense can improve. Short yardage and goal line.
You know, Doc Walker is on the sidelines, and he just told me moments ago that Doug Williams is going to be dancing with the cheerleaders, his daughter, and Doug's standing there. So, Doc, why don't you ask Doug if he's nervous about this, because I would be.
Hey, Doug, the guys upstairs want to know, how nervous are you about halftime and the anticipation of you dancing with your daughter?
I can't even imagine, man, getting out there talking about freestyling and stuff, man. They got me now. They put this on me. I got 2 pretty little girls, man, and it was hard for Daddy to say no. You know how that is.
I know.
I couldn't do it, man, but you know what? I got to embarrass myself today, and it's worth it because of them.
Did you practice this?
Cooley wants to know, did you practice?
You know what? I just left the hotel room. We must have did it about 2 or 3 times. That don't mean I'm going to be able to do it because we practice.
Tony Wiley's going to do it. He has no rhythm.
That's going to be terrible. I play basketball. Tony ain't played nothing.
Thanks,
right,
Doug.
Thank you, fellas. Back to the coach. You really believe Doug was practicing? Coley, do you think he would have practiced? You know, you've got a daughter. Would you take the time to practice?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to disappoint my daughter. So, yeah, I would practice just enough that I felt confident.
I think the warm-ups is what's key, Larry.
Yes.
It's been warmed up properly, because we don't want Doug with, a pack of ice on his hamstring when the game starts.
All right, back to the coach, talking about how his defense might be better this year. Coach Gruden, what do you think?
Start to play DJ. I love the way he plays.
What do I do?
Inside defensive line. Jonathan Allen, obviously.
How much better is the defense going to be, Cooley? And John is right. You're actually even watching practice tape now, getting ready for the game. How much better? You've seen this defense. You know the new parts. What do you think?
Well, talent-wise, I think they're much better. And Jay mentioned some of the pieces. You had real speed at linebacker and Zach Brown. You didn't have that last year. You add some savvy and a guy that can play in the secondary, and DJ Swearinger, who also is becoming a leader, who gets that secondary on the same page. And then you had a bunch of guys up front. I think that's a big improvement. the last thing you're looking for, and I think you might hope to see it early, is some pass rush. They add some pass rush. They can be dynamically better. But, guys, you're also talking about adding 6-7 new starters or massive contributors with a new defensive coordinator. Does it gel early? And do they get a feel for this defense early? That'll be the biggest question. Talent-wise, for sure. But they have to gel as a unit.
We're going to jump ahead and skip to relative to how long the Redskins starters will play. And Jay has really been coy about this throughout his career with the Redskins. He really doesn't give up a lot. But question was posed to him on the coach's show. How do you tell the players how long they'll play, Coach Gruden?
You tell them that they're going to play until I take you out. That's what you got to tell them. Could be 2 series, could be half, could be 3 quarters. I think they have to have the mentality they're going into play football game. And they're competing against another team that's going to play the same type of game, physical brand of football. If they go in there, I don't feel like playing, they're going to get their heads knocked off. So we got to make sure we go in with the right approach, the right mentality, that we're going to go and finish this game with a win, play our best, and if it's time to come out, I'll take you out.
Do you guys agree if he sees what he wants in the first half, that's going to be it? What do you think?
I would say yes.
I would say yes.
I would say yes as well, but I would say you make sure they play that entire first half.
Rick?
I'm thinking into the third quarter with some success, with Philly, but he's not going to play him more than into the third quarter. And I think at this point, the way they're going, I'm good with it.
Beautiful day here at FedEx Field. Temperatures in the mid-70s. I hope this is the way it's going to be on September 10th. It is just beautiful. Cooley's Keys after we return. This is the Washington Redskins Radio Network.
By firemen. Microsoft Surface.
Your home sold, guaranteed, or John will buy it himself. Go to johnhashomebuyers.com. Chris, take it away.
So I think the biggest key to this game is the run game initially, and what everyone feels like they need to see is, can the Redskins run the football? The Bengals have given up a ton of yards, but the inside key on this is they have to communicate with each other. Have a new center and Chase Rouillet in there. Right. Those calls have to get out. And so if you're looking at a game early where you see the Bengals defensive front in the backfield making plays, Geno Atkins not being blocked, Michael Johnson not being blocked, you're going to understand immediately they're not communicating calls. You don't want to see linebackers with free hits on backs. That's been one of the biggest problems for this run game, is just lack of communication up front. And I realize they have a game plan, but guys, all of these run schemes have rules and have a set system for fronts and where players are, and you have to block them as they come. They have to communicate and be able to do that.
What do you think about that, John Riggins?
I tell you what, I think Chris brought up something that's really key, and it's something that I was thinking about on the way over in this whole pregame process. I'd forgotten about it, but the center position. The fact that Spencer is out of there, Long's out, and you got Rouillet, the rookies in there. That guy's got a lot on his plate, and he's young. I mean, he certainly probably has the chops physically to do it, but that's something that really you got to keep your eye on. I think that it's critical to see how he plays, and as long as he's getting all the calls and can do all that stuff, then they're going to be fine. But if he slips a little bit, problems are going to happen.
A lot of that communication starts early as well. They walk to the line of scrimmage. He's got to immediately go Mike linebacker, and then the calls go out as you get further towards the tight end. If he's not quick, then some of the calls are delayed, and then you get guys looking at each other going, what do we got?
What do you got next?
Second key to this game, and this is what I think this offense is going to be this year. They have to get confidence and get in a rhythm early. And the more I watch Kirk, the more I really truly understand that if he hits that quick slant or that quick out early and then finds Jordan Reed on something inside early, boom, 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 they have a rhythm and they start moving.
I think Jordan Reed is going to help Dotson some too. He'll help him.
He is going to help him. Get the ball in Pryor's hands in the first drive, one or two times, quick and easy. Get the ball in Reed's hands. Get the ball in Vernon Davis's hands. But find the easy rhythm for Kirk Cousins, because this offense has lacked, for the most part, what I've seen, confidence above all else. It starts with the quarterback. He's got to believe he can do it all day.
All right, what else you got there in your keys? And we're gonna hold you to these, Cooley. Don't forget, start of the second half. We're gonna go right back to your keys.
The last thing I'd like to see today is a pass rush. You got Junior Gillette in today. You have this vaunted defensive front that now is all of a sudden so much better. Jonathan Allen's going to play a bunch. Stacey McGee, could he put pressure on the quarterback? And then a couple of the guys you'd really like to see, like Ryan Kerrigan, would be great to see him get some pressure on the quarterback. I don't know. As you get down the list, could Lyndon Trail, Doc's guy, Pete Robertson, anything, Preston Smith. I like our secondary. I like our speed defensively. But if you allow a guy like Andy Dalton in a West Coast system to have time early, then you're going to struggle no matter what.
Thank you, Chris. Those are Chris's keys, albeit in preseason. Now to Doc Walker, his view on this game, brought to you by Rosenthal Auto. Visit rosenthalauto.com.
How competitive are we, guys? I mean, I just want to see people compete. I agree with Cool Dog when everybody said the right thing. The question is, will they do it? And I don't want to feel like we have to beg them to perform. I want to know if our backup to the backup at center and Ronald Patrick, he should play a lot. I want to know if he's up to it. There's some sophomores, some backups to starters, and the starters haven't really done anything exceptional. I'd like to see them put more competition on those position players.
All right, that's Doc's take. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Greg Minuski, defensive coordinator for the Redskins, as the countdown continues. 29 minutes until kickoff. Redskins and Bengals preseason game number 3, and you're listening to Washington Redskins football.
Where will you find hundreds of factory